Well, Gaby, what does it mean for you to sign your first pro deal with the Phoenix?
I'm very grateful, and grateful for the opportunity Chief has given me. It means a lot. Since I came to the academy, that was probably my main goal, to push into the first team, and I didn't think it'd come this early.
How do you just reflect on the past 12 months? Because you've made a pretty rapid rise through the ranks.
There's been lots to reflect on. I haven't really sat down and thought about it, but it's probably good if I do that. But things came really quickly, quicker than I expected, as I said before.
And Chief, he's a player you've really rated from the first moment. He's still a little bit across his game. Why now to offer him a pro deal?
Oh, it's been on the cards for a while. We've had a drawn out sort of, not negotiation, but just discussion about what's best for his future, and we came to a decision. I think he made a decision about a week ago, 2 weeks ago now. For me, it was a no-brainer to sign him. He's shown potential from day one, and I think once you have an exciting talent like that, you want to lock him down early, and then so you can invest, your time and resources towards him. And I think the way, if he keeps going the way he's been training and playing, I think there's a big, bright future for him.
Yeah, you're currently just a couple of games away from the finals and stuff, but there's a show that a lot of planning still going on for future seasons as well. Yeah,
definitely. I think the one good thing that the club has done over the last couple of years is forward planning. I think it has a clear idea of what it wants and what the club stands for, and recruitment is a big part of that. And I think that locking in the next generational player is it makes sense.
Gaby, I understand there was maybe some interest from Auckland where you sort of grew up. Why decided to stay with the Phoenix and stay in Wellington?
Well, they've given me good opportunities, which I said I'm grateful for. And they're doing really well at the moment, so I thought it's the best decision to stay here.
How have you found it, Gaby, going into the first team environment? I mean, you're the youngest by quite some distance. Some of those guys could be your dad. How have you been accepted in the environment?
I was a bit scared at first and a bit nervous, but I think lots of the players really helped me settle in, and they do that with all the academy boys that come up. There's lots of good banter. They make you feel welcomed. It's not like they push you away from the group or anything like that, so that's helped a lot.
That's great to hear. Anyone in particular who's been helpful to you?
Zawada, Mohamed Altay, Scotty and Bawley as well.
Tell us a bit about Oscar's. I don't know, not that it seems unlikely necessarily, but you think that maybe more the Kiwi boys might gravitate towards you. What's Oscar been particularly helpful with?
He used to, in pre-season, get me in the gym after trainings and get me do recovery with him and learn lots from him. So
And you were born in 2007. That was the year that Wellington Phoenix were founded.
They
played their first game about a month after you were born, so you probably don't remember that.
No.
But did you watch the Phoenix growing up?
The first game I watched was in 2021, I think it was. I think it was at Eden Park. That was the first game I watched at the stadium. But I watched them during lockdown. And stuff.
Chief, when you see thousands of young players, is there anything in particular that you look for when you're thinking, okay, this is a player who I am quite interested in?
I think, probably in a simple way of describing it would be that I look for something out of the norm, something different, because I think what's happened for a large part now in coaching circles, it's the same in Australia and New Zealand, is because we have this idea of a curriculum base and so on. A lot of things are done. A lot is done to create a certain type of player. So when you see something different out of the norm, that usually catches the eye. That's always a positive sign. And the story is when I saw Gab was by accident. It wasn't by intention that I was going to go see his game, which was after the reserves, and I just happened to be there, and I watched him, and I saw him dribble the first time. I go, okay, that's different. And then I watched him again and dribble again at an opponent, and then he switched the ball to the other side on the run. I go, all right, I don't see many kids doing that. And then I thought he actually wanted to get on the ball all the time, which is really, really good sign. So I thought, why not bring him in? It was both Supek and him, Gab, they came in, I think it was the next session, and they hit the ground running. They both contributed, and they both signed, which is great.
Has that been something that's happened in the past? I mean, I know you watch a million games of football, and has there been an inadvertent player you've seen in a coaching role before, or an analyst role, whatever it is, and oh shit, I didn't expect that?
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of the job. I find that's probably the most exciting part, is uncovering talent that otherwise hasn't been picked up, or has been picked up, but then realising their potential. I think it's quite. I think it's a very weird feeling when you identify a bunch of boys, and then they're the next generation of players coming through, and then everyone talks about them, and then you still remember them as those young kids, which is great. I've had the pleasure now. I've had that Sydney FC youth team that I was part of, and a lot of those boys have similar to Gab, had that potential, and then they've all started to kick on now. So I'm hoping the same for Gab now.
And when a 16-year-old is signed into a senior football team, a professional team, there's, I guess, the possibility that player gets a little bit ahead of himself. How do you keep a player like Gab and the other young players in the team grounded? Yeah,
well, I think from day one, the coaching staff and I this year, and in previous years, we try to curb any sort of behaviour that goes in that way. We try to keep the group very grounded, and that's very important for our leadership group, our leaders in the group, to stomp that out. But Gab's not like that. I think Gab's really well grounded, and that's also another reason why we offered him a contract. He's never shown signs of showboating or any of that. He's a really good kid, very well spoken, he's quiet, reserved, he's got good parents. So for me, that's always also a good sign of where his head's going to be in the future.
You've already debuted. What do you remember most about that? I mean, how did Chief say young? What was the story?
Yeah, it came quite quickly. I wasn't supposed to be going on the trip in the first place, so it was very unexpected. And then I was just warming up, and Chiefy called me to the bench, and was just warming up, waiting. Then I came on, and can't really remember too much. So it was just, it was all in the moment.
Were you nervous?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And you've got one under your belt now. So have you thought about, obviously you've got 3 years to look forward to at least. Have you thought about what you'd like to achieve here?
Just get some minutes, score some goals, do what I can do. Yeah.
With 17 players signed on for next season, do you feel like you're in a strong position to build on the season you've already had so far?
To build on? Yeah, no, definitely. I think 90% of your problems in football is having team cohesion and having a good foundation. And I think having 17 players, irrespective of how young they are, you can't, money can't buy that team chemistry. So the thing is we've signed Gab now. He's been training in the environment for almost a year. Next year will be second year. He'll be a little bit wiser, a little bit smarter, and I think if he goes on the same trajectory as those other young boys, I think he's going to have a valuable influence on the team.
What about some of the other off-contract players, guys like Costa and DK? Are they players you want to have signed before the end of the season? How do those discussions go?
Well, I think there's without getting into it, there's a lot of variables that need to be factored in. If I had it my way in an ideal world, I'd have all the players signed now, but unfortunately, it's never that clear cut. There's always negotiation, and there are other things externally that factor into that. So, for me, we're still talking to those players, and those situations will develop as they do.
Are you hopeful or confident they'll stay?
I know they want to stay. and I'm always confident. And we built a really good environment here, not only for the players, but for the staff as well. And everyone wants to be part of that. So yeah, I'm confident.
Because how much flexibility as a coach do you want in terms of how many spaces in the squad? Is it still healthy to refresh a squad?
I think that's important, even if it's just a couple of players. I think a change of environment, a bit of scenery, always, it indicates, a step, of teams evolving. I think that's very, very important.
How's the vibe been since Friday night?
It's been very good, very positive. Again, the one really good thing about this group is that they are very resilient. So it was more about putting aside the disappointment of Mariners, especially in that context of losing in the last minute, and then bouncing back with the performance. Again, I'm not really hell-bent on, I'm not really focused on the ultimate result. I just wanted to see a good performance, and I think we were really good with the ball. Could have been a little bit more clinical. Made a lot of chances. We dominated a really good opponent. They've only lost, I think it was 3 games up until that stage. So, but again, the beauty was after the game, the focus is now on Friday, and that's just a nice long memory now.
Have you seen some of the fan footage from up in Yellow Fever? And just, this club's been around for a long time, all of Gaby's life basically.
Yeah.
There's some fans there who have been through a lot of thick and thin and a lot of thin. Yeah, how do you feel when you see the fans just like that?
Yeah, for me, the most important thing is always the fans. I've said it from day one, and fans, can be a small fan base to a large loyal fan base. No, I love it. I mean, without going into too much, I have my Instagram account, for example, and usually I can cop abuse as well. But there is occasionally, or after the game, there was a lot of messages thanking me, which is great, for the feeling that they had. They've never felt this. So I never respond because then they won't stop messaging. But I get really buoyed by that. It makes me happy because there's something there that there's a close affinity with the fans. There's a good, a good feeling, a good sense of community, and that's why it's very important for me that we perform well. And if the results go against us, but everyone sees that we're giving 100%. For me, that's very rewarding.
Just follow on from me, with some pretty big games to go. You've obviously made your debut, but how hungry are you to be involved in this run through the finals now?
Yeah, well, it'd be great, but I think it's best that the more experienced players, play, and I think they'll be best for the team to get us through these final games. Yeah.